When I look back at the first part of my life, I can clearly remember the events that involved music. And those events started with a mixtape. I got it from my dad when I was about 7, 8 years old. It had singles and random songs that he thought I would like from artists like Filter, Green Day, and Vangelis. And it has greatly influenced the music that I listen to even now. That mixtape kept me company for years, but unfortunately it got lost on one of our many moves. So the radio became my friend for the years following until I discovered Switchfoot and Reliant K. I binged on their music for a year because I was so close-minded about listening to anything else. And all that time I was alienating myself from my friends and others because I ended up being close-minded about everything else. Eventually I became more aware of this and I begun to be accepting of other music and others' opinions, not just forcing my opinions or my music choice down people's throats. I turned to my stepmom and she and I really bonded when I asked her if there was any music she recommended I listen to. She introduced me to a small variety of music in her collection, such as Fuel, Goo Goo Dolls, and Power Man 5000, and of course a couple others on the side. After that, I got into the habit of searching for bands on the internet. I would search for hours a day for new bands. I found countless bands online, but one that stood out was Jameson Parker, and they can't be described as anything other than emo, and I didn't get the greatest reactions when I mentioned this band to people. And despite my plethora of new music, their music always seemed to find its way into my CD player. Also, because of this band, I was able to have a conversation with Emily in my sophomore year. We had conversations every day about bands we liked and then related them to new ones we found on our own time. Mainly underground music nobody really listened to. And this was really how we became such good friends to each other. James and I met on our school bus talking about music. Talking is loosely defined because we listened to such different music and decided that we should make mixes for each other for Christmas. The mix he made me introduced me to bands like Black Sabbath, Mad Caddies, Franz Ferdinand, Cake, and a few others. And it opened the door to older music and some mainstream hits that I hadn't paid attention to previously, giving me the incentive to look for any and all music instead of just small timers and online only bands, and allowing me to easily talk with him and others with the same kind of taste, unlike before. Things were going well. I was meeting tons of new people and not a care in the world. But I also realized that soon this easygoing lifestyle was going to change, and that I was going to have to decide what I wanted to do with my life. For a while, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life as far as a career goes. I just decided I was going to go into game design to make things easy. But that was just something to choose, not my real passion. It hit me. I met Jordan at journalism camp that summer. She was the one that brought this revolution into my life, this flipping of the tape, if you will. She and I met by mere chance, and when I think about it now, I have no idea who I would be or where I would be if I hadn't met her. We both have a passion for music and journalism, and we were able to click instantly. We talked endlessly about our love for both, but mainly music, talking about bands like the Damnwells, Dispatch, Explosions in the Sky, and concept like, music with lyrics is like having a story told to you, and with instrumental music you have the chance to write your own story to it. A couple hours later, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be that one thing that could bring people together, that one thing that inspires and brings hope to people, and allows you to find your way when you are lost. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I wanted to start with writing and music. And that was the beginning of Side B. I now had my path ahead of me, and I have an idea of what I want to do to accomplish my passions. Side B has barely begun, but there's still a bit of time left on this tape, and I know by the time it ends that everything will be accomplished, some way or another, and that all the music that has brought people together, given us hope, and that has made us who we are, will be the mixtape and all the music and stories it contains that we are remembered by.